Okay.
Okay, this is the WordPress login. It doesn't matter what the name of your website is. You'll notice here in the browser, this particular website, createacashflowshow.com/WordPress admin. That's how you go to log into any WordPress site. So it would be the name of the website /WordPress admin. And then you can see here, you just put your username in and your password. Most of these WordPress sites have a lockdown feature, which if you enter it incorrectly 3 times in a row, it'll lock you out for 10 minutes. And then you could come back, or you can reset your password if you'd like. Once you log in, you get to the dashboard. Now, depending on the WordPress website, it's going to be basically the dashboard looks almost the same, although as WordPress updates, like right now, and I keep my website pretty well updated, you can see that there is an option with a update for WordPress that's even far more advanced than the one I have, and I update almost twice a month. So there's always updates, so it's going to look different depending on when you log in, what the website is, what the different features have been installed in the website, but they're all generally the same. On the left-hand side, you can see we're on the dashboard, and then all these different features are available on your site. Now, when you get down to the bottom, you're looking at underneath settings. These are ones that are unique to your website. They were special plugins, they're called, that were installed. So just real quick, without getting too complicated, we have posts. A post is an article. A blog is dynamic. So a post is an article. When you post an article, it will go live, and then when you post another article, the previous posts will move. In other words, it's a dynamic environment where each one takes priority over the previous ones, and they move down the database. And so if you wanted to put something up like your About page or a shopping cart page, you use a page. A page is permanent. It stays in one place. You could have it all of them showing up in your navigation bars. So generally speaking, your articles are posts. But if you know how to put up a post, you also know how to put up a page. It's just understanding that you need to make the right choice depending on what you want to happen with that article. A lot of people make a mistake of always using posts for their sales pages or for their About page, or else they make a page when they're planning on making an article. So think of a post more as news, something that goes away, but it's still available for someone who wants to look deeper into your site. And a page is something that always stays on the top. It always stays where you put it initially. But if you know how to do one, you know how to do them both. And so first we're going to make a post. So we could look at all our posts, which are listed. These are the ones that are already added, or we can just add new, which is what we're going to do right now. We're going to add a new post. Now, I strongly recommend you write your article before you even get to your WordPress admin. So you create your article in your processor, in your Word document. However, whatever kind of software you have in your computer, you create your post, but you don't format it. I have it segmented out into my title. I have a subtitle or two within the article, and I have some bullet points that I'm going to use. But you don't format your article within your within your computer document and then copy that formatting. You need to format it within WordPress. So we copy our article, and your data processing in your computer has code in it that's hidden that you don't see. And so when you paste that into your website, you don't want that hidden computer code here because it's a different kind of code. Now you have two different options in your WordPress pages or posts. They're both the same. You can either work in the visual editor, and when you work in the visual editor, that's where you're going to do all your formatting. You notice you have the ability to bold or italics, and so you don't want to do this in your original creation of your document in your computer. You just write the document, spell check it, and now you're ready to post it here. And so since we don't want any of that code, that messy code is going to mess up your website, from your computer into your WordPress site, you have two choices to strip it out. One choice would be to take a text document in your computer, .txt, and after you write your article, paste it in the text document, and then re-highlight it, and just take it, and now you can paste it into your WordPress document. So now you can see that it's here. It's already spaced out for me. There's a spelling error. And it's already spaced out for me. The other choice that you could do if you'd prefer, which I do it this way sometimes too, but over here you'll notice that we have your visual editor. When you're looking at your visual editor, it's called a WYSIWYG. WYSIWYG means what you see is what you get, meaning when you put something in here and you use these little tools, you create bold and you see what you get. But if you use the HTML editor, you click that one, you could literally paste your document straight out of your word processing file straight into the HTML if you wanted, because this basically strips all the word processing code out of it. So you just have to make sure that you don't paste straight out of your word processing into WordPress without either running it through a text document or through your HTML editor and then switching back to visual. So this article was totally written, and all I'm doing now is taking the title and putting it into my title area. And now I want it to be spelled correctly. So I want this to be a subtitle. So you highlight it and you go right here to the paragraph button, and you push the paragraph button and a little drop down shows up, and then scroll down to, these are your different types of headings. Google reads codes and tags. H1 title is going to be the strongest title tag, and you usually use that only for your title. Should you host coach via text is your title. And so after that, they're usually subtitles. H2 would be a subtitle, or H3. And so you, instead of just using bold, which is okay, but bold isn't a title tag that makes it stand out as being important. So you go through and title out your subtitles. It's important that everything on your page supports your title. In other words, if the title of the article is host coaching, then you should use that in your subtitles. And then your subtitles should be supported underneath each subtitle by the same words within the text. This is called a cascading style sheet, so that you are telling Google, as well as your guests, what the article's about. Host coaching via text. Maybe I should change that to host coaching via technology. Yeah, maybe I should. Because you want the articles to have the content that the article is about in your H tags. A lot of people try to seek out keywords that aren't even written in their article. So your article is supposed to represent your keywords. Okay, so we got our title tags laid out, each one supporting something that it's above it, and your text supports the title as well. And then we can also further format it. We can put these in bullet points. And I think I have some bullet points down here too. Okay, so we probably should add a picture now. So you can see that WYSIWYG editor, what you see is what you get. And that's opposed to your HTML editor. And depending on your website, if you share your website with somebody else, like if you share a website with me, you might log in and then go to your add post, and you'll be stuck in HTML editor because I was there before you, and I was not necessarily even the same article. Like if I was there yesterday and you come today and I left it in HTML, then when you go to post a new article, you'll have to switch back to your visual editor. But let's put a picture in now. We can put, wherever you want your picture, you put your cursor, and then you go to upload or insert, which is right here. And then it gives you the opportunity to navigate to your computer to select the files that you want to upload. And so we're going to upload, I wonder if we have a picture of a telephone for host coaching. Oh, there's the telephone. Now that's a snazzy looking telephone, isn't it? Alright, so it's uploading it. You want to make sure not to upload massive picture sizes because it slows down your website. Your picture should be between, I don't know, whatever, 200 to 1,000 pixels, not bigger. This one's 450 to 350. I kind of shoot for 500 or less because the more pictures you have that are really big volume, it takes up space. And so then your title of your picture needs to represent something that your article's about. So this article's about host coaching, right? So you put that in your title as well as in your alt tag. And then if you want it to link to the picture, you can leave that in there, but I don't usually have, unless you want it to link to another page, I don't usually leave that link in there. And then you can select your size down here, and you can change the size if you want after you insert it. That's a pretty big picture. So once you insert it, and I always do it this way, I always go back to the picture, because every website, every browser is a little bit different. Internet Explorer, Firefox, they all have different kind of code parameters. And so I always go in as a safety's sake. If you want to change the size of your picture, you do it right here. You can see what happens. You can choose left, right, or center. But then it's advisable to go into the advanced settings and put a 0 in for border, and then 5 for vertical space and horizontal space so that your picture is not running into your text and you got a little bit of a border around it. We resized our picture. And so now, before we move on, I'm going to save a draft. That's just in case you make a mistake. It's going to be there. And that's not publishing it, it's just saving it so that you can look at it. Now you can look at it. You click this preview button right here that is on the right hand side. If you'll notice over here on the right of our WYSIWYG editor, you have a little box called Publish. So we just saved the draft and it's in the status of draft. And if we want to, when we're ready to publish it, we can publish it right now, or we can pick a date and publish it later. And I'm always publishing every other day. And so my next available date for a post is on the 8th of July. So you need to select July 8th. I don't know why, but I have a sort of a unique system of always putting my posts out sometime around 10 a.m. Do whatever you want. And so then when you're ready, you can hit schedule, or you can also hit save draft. So we can take a quick look at this now if we'd like by pushing the preview button. Depending on the WordPress website, it normally opens up in a new window, but sometimes it doesn't. And so it's not live now, but we're looking at it on the front house. You can notice that it's not live because in the browser bar, it's under the preview URL. And so looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Host coaching, we got our subtitle. This is telling Google that this article is about host coaching, and I'm going to use keywords host coach, hostess coach, hostess coaching, and host coaching, and technology for hostess coaching. And so the words that every blog article focuses on attracting or winning in Google need to be somewhat related, need to be what the article is all about, and need to be included in the article and the subarticle, subtitles. So we notice host coaching by technology, hostess coaching system. Coaching technology enhances host coaching. So we're using our keywords that we're going to seek throughout the course of the article. And so you can see we've got a formatted article right here. And it looks pretty nice to me. I don't really see anything that needs change. Now that tab can stay open, and we can go back to our editing tab. You'll notice here that we have our URL, and it's really, really long. Now, the first thing we didn't do was we didn't pick a category for our article. And so your article, as I said, on your blog, when you're putting up an article, a post is an article. Think of it more like a newspaper article, as opposed to a page would be more like a place that stays there forever. And a new newspaper comes out every day, but the newspaper building doesn't move. So, it's kind of like thinking about, in that sense, that you want your fresh news is what is all about in your blog. And so categories indicate where they might find it. Just like in a newspaper, you have your sports settings and you have your lifestyle settings. So you make up your own categories depending on your personal blog. In my case, for Home Party Plan Education, I have one specific to hostess coaching, host coaching. So I'm going to put it right there. I unchecked the other one. With only isolated exceptions, it's not advisable to put an article in more than one category. And so you want to try to pick out one that's most effective. And when you're picking out your category names initially on a new blog, try to be, systematic in thinking about what's going to be effective, what people are going to look for. And also those are also considered search terms, so they want to be realistic terms that people may be looking for. So we have a category there that we've selected, and that's going to change this piece right here, because when we saved our draft it was in inspiration and motivation, which is the default setting. So I want to change this end piece of my URL so it's not quite as long. The category is going to be host coaching, so rather than having that occur again in the URL, I'm just going to change it to via technology, because what happens when you initially create your post is it automatically selects the URL based on your title, and you don't need it to be that long. So we'll just change that to via technology and click OK. And then we've already selected over here our category. So now it's time to put in our keywords and our tags. The difference between keywords and tags is somewhat confusing, and I'm not really going to go into it in too much detail, but basically the tags have more to do with the website itself and different groupings of articles on your website, whereas keywords have more to do with Google and what Google's looking for. So we're going to use hostess coaching. And then what you do is you put a comma between each one. Hostess coaching technology, hostess coaching text. And then we'll go, what else did I say? Oh yeah, hostess coaching system. And then we'll go host coaching. And so these are all articles that are included in the text. These are all keywords that are included in the text. It's really, Google doesn't recognize it at all, but people oftentimes keyword their articles by words that aren't even included in the text, and you'll never win those in Google. So we have host coaching system, host coaching text, host coaching technology. I think I got them all there. I don't remember. I can always add them later. All right, so then you copy them. I highlighted them by pushing Control-Alt-C, and then I pushed or how did I do that? Control-Alt-C. Anyway, I copied them. Control-A, and then Control-C, and that highlights them and copies them. Then you post them by clicking Add, and there's all our keywords listed there. And then you scroll down the page to the SEO section. Now, depending on who set up your website, it could be different plugins. I like the all-in-one SEO pack, and any websites that I set up have the all-in-one SEO pack. So you plug your keywords in there, and then you put in a title, and it can be any title you want. Now, in the this is keyword. So in the main title, which was a H1 tag, we used host coaching. So now I'm going to use hostess coaching. It's just a way I use. I'm not sure if it's really effective. Who knows what Google's thinking, really, right? Hostess coaching via technology. And then you can, because I try to include the opposite words that weren't included in the original title, and that way I'm kind of targeting them both. System for, I can probably use them both here. Now you might notice that I only chose between 8 and 12 keywords, which is what you should be doing ideal. And then in your your title, you're looking for 60 characters or less. Host coaching via technology, system for host coaching, host text coaching. Change this. So you want your description to be 60 characters or less. Control A is highlight, Control C is copy, Control V is paste. And then your description. So the goal in your description is to use every single word that you used in your keyword at least once. So hostess coaching via technology, hostess coaching via technology, hostess coaching system for text, got that one, hostess coaching system, hostess coaching system, hostess text. Okay, we got them all. So I could probably add for party, home party plan businesses. And your description should be 150 characters or less. Consultants. And this is valuable real estate. You should use it all. Consultants in party plan business. Use technology. All right, perfect. Almost every word I put there was 100% valuable in my description. And so we used 161 characters. Now I did put some words in there like home, party, plan, business. That was not included in my text nor in my keywords. So now I'm going to add that to my keywords and my tags. And then I want to include that host coaching system for party plan. I want to include the new keywords that I added, technology for host coaching. So I could add home there. So the keyword that we added is also in our text. And so I should probably add that set of keywords into my content too. There is not one definitive way that is correct for host coaching for your home party plan business. You will never win a keyword selection unless you include those keywords on the page. So I think that we've pretty well covered it here. So what I'm going to do now is schedule it, or you would post it. If we picked a date in the future, and so if you wanted to post it right now, if you hadn't picked a date in the future, it would say, I think it says post right here, or update your post or something to that effect. But in any event, it's right here, and we're going to schedule it. And so what will happen now is if we had posted it, it would actually go live right now. But in this case, it's going to be in our preview window because it's scheduled for the future. Now what I want to show you was the keywords that we selected for this post are the keywords that show up on the top of your browser. Let me pull this down for you. When we scheduled, that's not the right word. When we programmed in our keywords down in the all-in-one SEO plugin, we were programming in the keywords. These are what are talking to Google right across the top here. So you can see when you land on a page and you look at the top of your browser, you see kind of a summary. Well, that's what's scheduled into your SEO plugin. And if you were to go Google and do a search for host coaching, if this page would show up, the words that are programmed into your SEO are what's causing it to show up, and any ones that are bolded are the ones that are your keywords. And so that's basically how you, schedule a post in WordPress. And when we go back here, you'll notice that it's listed in my original list of, where is it here? Scheduled. Let's just look at scheduled, because I'm scheduled pretty far out. So there it is, right there. It's scheduled. It's in the category of host coaching. It's scheduled for July 8th, and it has the titles, the keywords, and the description. So I think that that is basically your overall view of how to use and post articles in a WordPress site. After that, all these other links have other features, benefits, things that are a little bit more advanced. So as you learn more about your WordPress site and start to play around with posting articles, you'll be able to move into some of the other categories.